Hey, what's up, Tech Boy? So, the past few weeks, I've been thinking a lot about outsides, insides, degrees of twists, inversions, and all that fun stuff, as I'm sure you've probably seen that really long thread that's been going on between Marashi and a few other people. So one thing that really I learned along the way that I thought was pretty cool was I learned a little bit more about Airwraps. And Airwraps are one of those moves that, you learn how to do them and it's cool, but, you never really know what exactly is going on in there. And so, here's what I learned. We were talking about the nexus being the point of contact that is made whenever a degree of twist is made. So a nexus can be the tether to the tether. Nexus can be the arm to the arm in case of barrel roll inversions and things like that. It could actually be the tether to the arm in through wraps. But for Airwraps, the nexus is tether to tether. But we can still do an Airwrap with the nexus being formed on the arms or the wrists instead of the tether. And when you do that, it looks like this. And doing that kind of really makes you realize what's going on in an Airwrap. I've heard people argue over what sort of degree of twist happens in an Airwrap. Some people have said it goes from 0 degrees of twist to 1 degree of twist to 2 degrees of twist, back to 1 degree of twist, and then pops out again to 0. And what I've realized is that it doesn't go to 2, it just goes from 0 to 1 to 0. Just in the same way that a regular weave does this also. A weave, so we have 0 degrees of twist. That means the arms are separated, there's no crossing of the arms, no crossing of the tethers, just 0 degrees of twist. And when we're doing 3-beat weave, we alternate between 0 degrees of twist, 1 degree of twist, 0 degrees of twist, 1 degree of twist, 0 degrees of twist, 1 degree of twist. A lot of what I've been trying to figure out is how we can describe what happens when we hit 1 degrees of twist, but we sustain 1 degrees of twist, the same amount of twist, as we bring it to the other side. Because it's the same degrees, just 1 degree of twist, the arms crossed, then we open up to 0, we go back to 1, sustain 1, 0, 1, and so forth. So basically, going back to the Airwraps, the same thing is going on. The exact same thing as a 3-beat weave. So they hit 1 degrees, and then that does that sort of sustaining thing, where it goes to the inside and sustains 1 degree of twist, and then it pops open again to 0 degrees of twist. So the same thing that happens at 3-beat weave is happening right in front of you with the Airwrap, only it's taking that 1 degree of twist to the inside, and then it opens up to 0 degrees of twist. So 1 degree of twist, twist into the inside, to 0. So if you look closely, I don't know if you'll be able to see, the bottom poi, my right hand poi right here, when it hits the Airwrap, it's going to be on the outside of my body. And then after it completes through the Airwrap, it's going to come out on the inside and pop out. So you see outside, outside, inside. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what's happening. So, going all the way back, I was talking about taking this Airwrap, and instead of the nexus point being on the tether, let's do it with the wrists. So the cross happens on the wrist instead of the tether. And then you just follow through with what happens in the Airwrap with your wrists instead of the tether. So what happens is this. it's the same thing with my right poi, starting on the outside and then bringing it into the inside between your arms as it pops out. So this is an air wrap. Oops. With the nexus point on the wrists instead of the tether. It's pretty cool. You can like isolate it. Kind of has a funky feel to it. And that's the same thing as an air wrap. You can have a tiny nexus at the end of the poi, nexus in the middle of the poi, nexus at the end of the poi, nexus on the wrists. And that's all the same mat, air wraps. Hope you learned something.